program is focused on information and communication technologies. And if you look at these 10 years of activity and outcomes of the program, clearly what you can see is that the program is contributing to building the foundations of the digital world that we have today and of the digital world that we will have in the future.
My feeling is that the program has been and is going to be very useful for the ICT research and innovation and the facilitation of the construction of companies, because the results of the projects are up-to-date technology, up-to-date innovations.
By engaging Portuguese universities internationally, I think it's raised the profile of Portuguese universities and also raised the ambition and the achievements in the international setting in ICT. As we move forward, then we start to think more in terms of, and how do you take that forward into innovation, raise the enterprise agenda, and build that into what is done in the universities and what the students experience and so on.
The Carnegie Mellon University Portugal Program is doing particularly well in bringing together the universities, in making sure that the Portuguese higher education system is very attractive internationally, and particularly in making sure that university and industry work together well.
The partnering with industry benefits both the researchers, the PIs, the research staff, the faculty, and the companies. So that mix of researchers, good faculty, industry has been of great benefit to this program.
There is a special flavor which has been the flavor of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs that have been able to produce fantastic companies that I'm very happy to acknowledge that are certainly worth more than $100 million nowadays. There is a huge contribution to the Portuguese economy. The best return on investment is people, very highly educated people that are now able to create very highly qualified jobs. In order to fix talent in Portugal, we need to have good companies and good initiatives. So what we are trying to do is to take the opportunity of having companies like this one, for example, FIDSI, to bring them together with our universities and new people, new talents, and to make sure that we create institutions that add value.
It was actually very important for us to be part of the program, because one thing that happens is that when you are creating a company, it's always very hard and you need to have external validation. I believe this is really an important program. It's not only the advanced training, but it's actually allowing people to believe that they can have an impact.
So far, I've seen 2 projects. They are good research, innovation, and enterprise projects in the language that I would use. They are framed in a way to address a challenge that we would recognize from our everyday lives. So they address real needs of society or real opportunities in industry.
What we do today, which is the so-called platform patient innovation, was actually developed in the context of the CMU Portugal Program. And I'm very happy that I was involved in this partnership from the beginning, because I think patient innovation would not exist if it wasn't for Carnegie Mellon.
It was great to see that the work had practical application to real-world problems that were driven by social need. We have a set of tools as academics, and there's a body of knowledge that's already been created, and we want to continue to extend that knowledge. And sometimes the applied solutions aren't as academically interesting, even if they're financially interesting or helpful to society. So it was good to see that there are these sets of projects rigorously being evaluated where you could actually publish research, but also have an impact and address social needs.
We have to focus on building on the good things the program has, so keeping new knowledge to originate in the program, new ideas for projects and for businesses. And I think we have to be more creative than in the past and involve the people that really want to work hard into bringing new ideas into products, services, processes, and even new companies in a way that benefits our community and the society in general.
I think that since the Second World War, never it was so important again to cooperate internationally. Because of communications, the world is shrinking. And as it is shrinking, the problems of cultures, the so-called civilizational clash, is a reality. And to overcome that, we must cooperate. It's not only scientifically, it's also in terms of human values. And now one very basic thing that it is peace and development.
It's so exciting to see how these projects are leading to new companies being created. The INRES program that's bringing Portuguese companies to Carnegie Mellon and to the Silicon Valley, and then seeing the kind of impact that has on those companies. These are all very rewarding parts of the program.
Basically, the INRES program, we start by having 4 sessions here in Portugal with Portuguese mentors, where we start by presenting our idea and developing our presentation to clarify our business proposal. And after that we go for 7 to 8 weeks to the United States, where we can actually validate everything that we were working on. So in those weeks the idea is to be constantly on the field, meeting with clients, meeting with partners, with people that are important in the areas that we are working on, in order to develop and validate everything that we worked on.
We have hosted companies through the INRES program and helping them find contacts in the United States, helping sort of push research out of the labs into industry. And we are hoping that there will be a phase 3, and through phase 3 we continue developing this program.
From phase 1 to phase 2, we evolved the program from being a very academic type program to, in phase 2, we continue doing this excellent research, but we also need to look for the societal impact, economic impact, so bring connections to companies and promote startups and so forth. Phase 3 is more like saying, okay, let's create high quality, good paying jobs in Portugal in high technologies.
The government is firmly committed to evolving these partnerships to a third phase, and we are currently in a process of interacting between the government, Portuguese universities, Portuguese industry, our research system, and our friends in the US, Carnegie Mellon University. There's an ongoing conversation and negotiation process towards coming up with a concrete proposal for phase 3.
The resulting companies that have come out from these programs are the proof that we have done well. This was a very powerful, important program that should be pursued.
The other aspect was the quality of publications. Each of the projects has produced 10, 15, 20 papers, and these are published in world-class journals or made presentations at international conferences that raise the profile of work that's going on in Portugal.
It's a recognized pattern around the world that if you do research yourself in your laboratory, it's recognized to a degree. If you collaborate with others, it's better and gets more attention. And if you collaborate internationally, then the impact of what you do is recognized to a higher level. And we're seeing that in the performance as measured through publications, through citations, through follow-on activities. So yeah, I think this has been a visionary program.
Carnegie Mellon has been a great partner, I believe, in the CMU Portugal Program. We have started many new collaborations with Portuguese researchers. We have had students from Portugal coming to Carnegie Mellon and really interacting and doing a lot of research together towards their PhD degrees, towards their master degrees. So I think this event in particular is extremely well attended. It's a pleasure seeing the room packed with people involved and engaged on this research within the CMU Portugal program.
We have several dozen of young Portuguese and not so young members of the faculty that have been in Carnegie Mellon. And of course, this is of utmost importance because we are used to go and work with people in laboratories of a high level.
It actually benefited both the Portuguese universities and Carnegie Mellon University. We truly enjoy having the students that come into this program, many who are Portuguese. It helps Carnegie Mellon to broaden its student body, and it allows us to get excellent students from Portugal that might choose to go to another European university, but they choose to come to the CMU Portugal program instead.
For the students, this is also a unique experience because unlike doing a full master's abroad, this is a true international education because they really have to bridge two countries, two nations during the course of their studies. So for instance, our dual degree PhD students are co-advised by a faculty member of the Portuguese University and Carnegie Mellon, so the students have to work in the scope of a truly international team. It's not just studying abroad, it's really studying and developing themselves as truly professionals who have knowledge and who have skills to cope with an international environment.
For me, CMU Portugal was a really big opportunity because it allowed me to do a PhD both in Portugal and outside. So I was 2 years in the US, which was really new experience for me, and it was very valuable for how I see myself, for example, in Portugal. It kind of builds up our confidence when we return.
And for sure we need partners like Carnegie Mellon to promote the credibility, the critical mass, to promote international research agendas that at the end of the day will be able to fix in Portugal talents and scientific jobs and will add to our socio-economic development.
It has been one of our flagship international collaborations, certainly a gold standard by which we measure others.
So now they look at partnering with teams from other countries as something that can be done, that's easy to do, and it's very enjoyable and it's very enriching for them.
When you have to face new challenges, when you have to face new cultures, usually you go out of your comfort zone, but most often you learn and then you return to another comfort zone, which is more interesting and more productive. So I believe it's always good to have new challenges.
The only thing that stops you from doing things is your willingness. The technology is not a problem. Engineers have made it pretty simple. But people, individuals, organizations can do so much. The problem becomes, how do we teach them to do this?
I think that this is really a very important issue that a country should never underestimate because we build the future of the country, setting up a strong education system and a strong university.